Away we go. The start of spring football practice is today, and it begins here shortly. So interviews afterwards is the coverage you get. Not much happens on day one, right? But you do get the guys reporting. You do get the guys rolling on in, and I think it's more symbolic than anything else. I talk about this a lot in this first week where it's the start of something new. We could all use it. You know, there's, yes, sometimes it's a catalyst for discussion about what was wrong and what upset you and why you need the new to enter into the picture. And you go back down a painful memory lane of sorts that lead us to this significant moment. But more than anything, as they say, hope springs eternal. And that's where we are starting today with the start of spring football practice. Now, these first couple practices, you guys know how it goes. They're not out there hitting, so you're not learning a lot. And it's going to be an interesting spring anyhow with the change in policy. This isn't a rant or anything like that, but it will be an interesting spring to try to gather what you can. And we'll do that. We've done it before. We'll do it again. But also because this is basic install stuff right now. They're not leading towards a spring game. We'll say, Tom, I brought this up yesterday. I had to give him credit. I did it in the bonus hour as well. You know, I'm not one for giving Deion too much credit. I love his idea. I wish that would happen. I wish that teams across the country would embrace something like this, sort of a NFL-style spring where you have the chance to scrimmage against another team and really kind of see where you're at. I thought it was cool that Syracuse immediately raised their hand and said, oh, we'll do it. You know, we're in. Coach Fran Brown there at Syracuse says, we'll come practice with you for a couple of days and play a game on a Saturday. Sounds like fun. I hope that's where this is going. I hope that idea catches on with a lot of people. And, you know, when you're going through a crazy transition, this holds to Florida State football, but also college football in general. And there's a whole lot of limbo and uncertainty and hand-wringing. You never really know what's going to take and what isn't, but there is always a whole lot of paranoia when you're in the midst of it. And I hope it ends up coming back the other way. I love that idea from Deion Sanders saying that, hey, look, we get it, man. People are going to come after players no matter what. They're scouting your players, whether your spring games on television or not. They know which players were highly recruited, highly touted. They know which players are doing well and aren't doing well and getting acclimated. Everybody's got sources everywhere. So we're not going to be afraid to do this. If anything, we're going to give you an extra arm of notoriety and ability to showcase your skill set above and beyond just what happens in the fall. We'll let you do it right here in the spring, and whatever social media platform you have, you can celebrate the hell out of it. Come on here, play here. You'll be on TV more, not less. And we'll have some competition from a coaching staff standpoint that allows us to assess above and beyond one of us facing the other. This is now, you know, a reality check. Hey, I thought we were good, but that was my offense against my defense. Now I get to see it against somebody else's, and we get a better gauge of just where we're at. Lord knows that sounds refreshing on the heels of what we all mistook last year for good practices, and that includes the head coach. So, hey, why not? I'd love to see something like it. It would make for an interesting game. You could actually charge serious money for it. I think people would come into town. They're always willing to give. It's a one-off. It's a chance to see friends and family. It's a chance to hang out. It's a chance to enjoy beautiful weather. It's a chance to go into the stadium during a long stretch of time where you don't have that opportunity, this year being different with Florida State because of spring football. But you can, because of the construction, but you could do something like that and say, yeah, it's $25. Come on in and watch us play Arizona State. Watch us play, you know what, we're going to call Dillingham, see if Dilly will bring his guys down. Good weather. We'll scrimmage for a little while. Next year, we'll reciprocate. We'll go up there.
Well, I think a lot of times if you're a school like Florida State, first of all, you operate from a position of power. Secondly, you could grab a team from the north because even though it's spring ball, it still can be chilly up there. I mean, I remember last year when Florida State was on the road playing Boston College in Chestnut Hill, and Major League Baseball season had started, and you wouldn't know it in Chestnut Hill watching us play baseball up there, and I was not too far away. I was a stone's throw away. Man, they want a reprieve. They want to get down in the warm weather. Also, what it would do, you split the gate with the other program some which way. Of course, I would stack the deck in our favor, but you might bring a couple of tourism dollars. Let's just say it was Boston College.
Yeah.
If it was Boston College that came down here, I know that's a conference opponent, but let's say it was them or Rutgers. You don't think their fans would use that as an excuse to have a long weekend in the warmth? I think more fans actually might come down there than for a real game. Like, oh, you're telling me I can get a break from this winter?
And it doesn't count? Like, the game doesn't matter? Yeah.
I'll go stay at the beach 45 minutes away, and then I'll spend my money yeah, you could see the potential for that. Absolutely.
I love it. I hope that through all of the changes that all of a sudden we get something that really hits, that resonates with fans, that works for coaches and players alike, the universe. This will be something the NCAA will stand steadfast against. This is the kind of thing that makes too much sense for the NCAA to rubber stamp it. Now, you could also argue, what in college athletics does the NCAA still govern over with any real meat, with any real say? They get shot down around every turn. So you could just proceed. You could just be like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
If they're going to dole out a punishment, it'll be to Florida State.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Florida State lost last night and looked bad doing it. Looked bad doing it in a lot of ways. What an ugly game. A couple things in the chat there. I see you, Swiss Irish. I, too, watched my beloved ETSU Buccaneers take down the number one team in the land in Knoxville. That was the nice little caveat to staying home to watch last night's Florida State baseball game. I had stuff I had to do around the house and fix dinner and all that. And I had our game on the TV, and then I flipped over when we were getting pounded by Mercer and watched a little bit of the FSU game. And then I ended up doing split screen because, damn it, it was entertaining. It was beautiful. And I've got a giant television, so I could do that, and it could still be crystal clear. It was beautiful. But
was it beautiful?
It was beautiful. Most beautiful thing you've ever seen. But that said, I rather enjoyed that and absolutely kind of puked a little in my mouth watching us play. Just what a thud of a midweek game. It's one game. It's not the end of the world. He was worthy of criticism. They didn't do anything well. Their at-bats were terrible, constantly behind in the count, never adjusted to the changeup, looked lost, save for the one that Max Williams ran into late in the game, down 7-0. And from a pitching standpoint, well, boy, it does feel like we're going to miss Evan Crest. But I would also say that, golly, throw some strikes, gentlemen. 8 walks and a whole lot of slinging it all over the lot looking silly, including when guys are in scoring position, ain't going to work. That was get it out of your system. It's a weird, messed up sort of week, sort of a cluster. You're traveling now, and the schedule's not even right where you play a Thursday, Friday, Saturday instead of a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all that stuff. But cleanse the palate quickly. It's Miami. It matters. It's a rival. It's ACC. And, if you don't play well, you'll get beat. And I would think that Link is very much looking forward to to finding out a little something about his team. You don't find out a lot when you bludgeon bad teams other than you're good enough to bludgeon bad teams. And you're doing what you're supposed to do against bad pitching. But when you face a good team or even an aspect of a team that's good, you get a much better test, especially when you do it on the heels of an ugly loss like that, especially when you have to go do it on the road and respond. And when it's combined with a game against Florida on Tuesday over in Jacksonville, and then married yet again with a road trip to the dump of a town that is South Bend for more ACC play, then all of a sudden you're now talking about a 7-game stretch that is a plus test, to say the least, for a group that has to show that they can, too, grow into what we think they're capable of. I still think they're capable of being a very good team, but there's some holes that have been revealed on this team. I think the bullpen is shaky at this juncture. Not a ton of really consistent arms out of that bullpen. You get highlights, you get moments, you get this, oh, I like that. That's good. Next time you see the same kid, oh, what happened there? That's 3 walks. So there's a lot of that going on. And the potential, which is a dangerous word, but you'd rather have it than not, the potential is there for that bullpen to get secured. Right now, it seems a little uneven for my taste. And then I think that, the lineup got humbled last night quite a bit by a kid making his first start who really, once he figured out they weren't going to adjust to the changeup, just kept throwing it and made him look bad, made him look really bad. And so humbling is the way I would describe that game from last night. maybe it's just what they needed, perhaps.
Yeah, there are a couple of numbers that it feels more like a problem beyond the midweek. You get into the box score last night and you see 8 walks issued, you see 2 hit batsmen, and you see 2 wild pitches. And in addition to that, there are pass ball issues that we have. They're borderline
with a
wild
runner
pitches.
on third.
Right, exactly. So, Link speaks on acquisition when he speaks on stealing bases. Remember, you gave him the rate in the preseason interview, and he said, 87%. That's an excellent acquisition rate. I like that acquisition. Yeah. On the other end of that is, what's the antonym for acquisition? Like donation, right?
You're not receiving, you're giving.
Right. You're forsaking, you're donating, whatever it is. And if you're giving up 8 walks and you're hitting 2 batters and there are pass balls and wild pitches and there's not always somebody on base in that setting, but you're just giving up free bases for no reason. And that's something that has happened even on the weekends. And that's something that they're going to have to tighten up and shorten up the guys that they're looking for. It's also a journey, and you've got a long season ahead still. Not quite, you got a couple months. It's not like it was 3-4 weeks ago. You got to tighten that up, and you got to figure out who your guys are going to be and develop who you're going to develop, because we're getting into the nitty-gritty here very, very soon. Miami starts Thursday. You play Florida Tuesday, go on the road and play Notre Dame. But then some of the teams that you're hosting in the subsequent weeks, Wake Forest and Louisville you're playing, and I think we're playing Virginia a little bit later this year. Like, these are important series where you're going to have to know who your guys are. And I think there are still some open question marks. And I'm not just because they lose on a Tuesday. I think that I've kind of hinted at that for the last few weeks, that maybe some of the guys they thought for sure were going to be arms for them out of the pen have been inconsistent. So they still have a lot of questions to answer here.
Yeah, that's why I think he's probably antsy and excited all at the same time. And I think it's an opportunity. I'll say it again. I don't think there's any doubt that, hey, look, this is the kind of game you can easily flush, but it's also the kind of game that you can go out there and right after it's over, get these guys on the foul line and get them running. Let them know that this is unacceptable. You guys look like you were going through the motions here. It was no, I mean, again, I never want to overstate the meaning of any singular win or loss in a game of baseball until you're in the postseason, when it really, really matters. So it may sound sometimes like I'm overstating some of the issues from a singular game, but I do think that there was enough there. It's the consecutive midweek game loss in which you've been dominated. One of them you'd say, well, that was Florida. They're really good. Okay, well, still sucks you got dominated at home in a midweek game. But secondly, Mercer's not really good. They're a good little program for what they are, and that's a great coach. He's been there over 20 years. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, sometimes I look at, so you look at a pitcher's performance and if they get hit, that I don't look at unless it happens over and over and over again. Well, yeah. I don't look at that the same way as I do free passes. Because some nights you're just going to get hit or something drops or you're tipping a pitch or whatever it is. Like, there could be a reason that somebody shells you on a given night. That's going to happen.
Yeah, and that is baseball. Fixes occur, yeah.
But free passes ain't. But we can't live with that. We cannot live with that.
Well, a lot of those.
Yeah, right. And last night, a whole lot of both. I mean, we gave up whatever, double-digit hits, 9 hits, whatever it was, and then 10 free bases with walks and hit bat. I mean, okay, that's not good. That's not going to work. So, 2-0, 3-1, we can't be living there on the weekends. And that's what this is all about. It's all about, amassing assets so that in a 3-game setting in a weekend series, you're good to go. And the good news for them is they can get that taste out of their mouth tomorrow night. Early weekend start for Miami, Thursday, Friday, Saturday series.
Yeah, and they have, by the way, that weekend, the reason you don't panic, let me put it this way. The reason you don't panic is that rotation, because my goodness gracious. Between Arnold, Vellini, and Mendez, this is a 12-0 group with an ERA sub-1. If you're going to combine it all, it's a 12-0 group through 76. Is it 76 innings so far? ERA of 0.81. I mean, they have been dominant.
They're doing everything they should do against the weekend opponents they have, 100%.
Yeah, just whooping ass. Just dominating in every way, shape, and form. Hey, we're going to inform the folks more today about the golf tournament. We finally need to get after this a little bit and let you guys know the deal. April 17th over at Capital City Country Club to benefit the second harvest of the Big Bend, which we love working with. We'll tell you some more details and opportunities for you guys to get your team signed up and do the right thing by charity and have a great time with us. That's always a lot of fun. Is that Masters weekend? Is that not
the following week?
Following week. All right.
So you'll be on the high of watching the Masters.
Yeah.
You're trying to do whoever the winner is. You're going to try and recreate that shot.
Which is a lot of fun. My man, Shannon Young, has made a move as part of the to the nation's largest mortgage company. You know that. You've heard him say that on these airwaves. I've talked about it before. He's with Cross Country Mortgage, but it's good news for you. 7 different states now: Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, and the Carolinas. Better options for you, stronger support for you, faster response, better rates. All these things matter. My man works relentlessly. He's goal-oriented. He's a Nole. He's one of us. He cares deeply. 20-plus years of experience to boot. Go find your dream. Make it come true. Do it with my man Shannon. Loansfornoles.com is the website. Go check it out, loansfornoles.com.
AC and electric is what we do. Service, repairs, and installation too. 222-7722.
Is your home ready for anything? At Parker Services AC and Electrical, we do more than just keep you cool. We keep your whole home running smoothly. From AC maintenance and duct cleanings to whole home generator installations, we've got everything you need for comfort and reliability. Join our Peak Performance membership to keep your HVAC system in top shape and catch issues before they turn into costly repairs. And with a reliable generator, you'll never be left in the dark again. Call Parker Services today, where comfort is just a call away. Log license number CMC 050-334 and EC 130-120.
There's nothing like relaxing in a hot tub after a long day. But if you don't have one, you're truly missing out. Hot tubs and spas have tremendous health benefits, besides just helping you relax. Like improving your sleep, they help with pain relief. They help to better your cardiovascular health, and so much more. And this season is the perfect season to finally buy what you've been wishing for. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas has the hot tubs you need for the price you want. Come shop our huge 12,000 square foot showroom and save today. There's over 50 hot tubs in stock right now, so you won't have to wait weeks on end for that delivery to finally come to town. If you're ready to relax, we're here to show you how. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas. Come visit our used showroom at 2473 Greer Road with over 50 hot tubs to choose from. You'll be glad you did.
Tired of spending money on bug spray and inhaling all those fumes every time you want to go outside? Treat your yard so you can stop spraying your kids.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control has a solution to this persistent problem. Paul's has a program which seeks the grounds, flower bed, and shrubs. Paul's controls pesky mosquitoes year-round, which means you can take back control of your yard. Not only are mosquitoes a physical irritation, they also pose a potential health risk to people and pets. With Paul's targeted techniques, you can rest assured that your yard will be protected and your afternoons will stay fun.
Take back your yard. Don't let mosquitoes interrupt the fun. For more information, go to callpauls.com. For the elimination of termites or any other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Pauls. We'll get them all.
Pauls can help eliminate fire ants from your lawn, too. We'll help you take your yard back.
Your friendly neighborhood bar and grill just got a whole lot closer to home. You can now order delicious Smitty's Tap House and Grill for delivery directly to your doorstep. Just visit Smitty'sTapHouse.com, click the Order Online button, and choose Pickup or Delivery. Enjoy Smitty's famous handmade pretzel with beer cheese, juicy pub burger, or even the amazing schnitzel sandwich, delivered fresh right to your doorstep. Support local and order online today for takeout or delivery at Smitty'sTapHouse.com, where everybody knows his name.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 For those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day, take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
You stay up last night to catch the 16-16 or the Carolina stomping? Did you do anything?
I watched a little bit of TGL, but I did not watch the hoops. No, I watched TGL playoffs.
The playoffs are underway, are they?
Well, it was a semifinal. You see, it was the Bay versus Atlanta, and it was Justin Thomas and Billy Horschel's Atlanta squad that won and beat the Bay.
Carried the day.
It's too bad. I want to see Shane Lowry make it to the finals. And Ludwig. That's a fun team. Instead, you're going to get Billy Horschel running about and doing the Dirty Bird dance. And yes, he will do that. Yeah. Cringe. Against Ricky Fowler's New York team. Awesome.
So you missed the Alabama State St. Francis ending.
I did. Not very saintly of me. No.
70-68, Hail Mary throw, bounce off of forehands, layup. Thanks for playing.
I saw that. It landed near the top of the key, a little bit more inside the paint, and then it rattled around. It's like a gift.
Oh, it was. It was a Hail Mary that was caught. Yeah.
It almost looked like the basketball version of that Auburn miracle against Georgia. Remember that throw? That was the championship.
Yeah, the tip.
Set the tone for Gus to make his way to Pasadena to play us in the Natty. They needed to beat Georgia. That was October. They needed to beat Georgia. But that little tip at the end, it reminded me of the basketball version of that play.
I always feel bad when I see something like that, when I'm watching a team lose that way. I'm like, it'll hurt your feelings a little bit, but so be it. It was at least entertaining as I lay getting ready to fall asleep. And, all I do is root for the sort of bedlam that everybody else does once these tournaments start. I had an ugly sort of a suspicion that North Carolina would dominate their game, since the whole world rightfully told them that they didn't belong to be in there. But when that happens, and then you barrage 4,000 threes that go in, then you're going to get a win. But they did.
See?
Ed, you know what? I don't know if that's true or not. Did we turn the NIT? Ed's asking in the chat, is it true that we declined an NIT invitational and you or an invite with the new ACC Success Initiative? Can we afford to do this? You know, it's funny. Well, first of all, the NIT is, my goodness gracious, tough times. It is a different look, NIT, than it used to be. I won't spend too much time on this. Now, this is a tournament that has existed since 1938, owned and operated by the NCAA. But more than half of its 32-team field last year was filled by power conference schools, and the difference is this year only 4. The ACC's Georgia Tech, SMU, Stanford, and the Big 12's Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State had a losing record, and they're in the NIT because that's the kind of ass that the NIT is. And instead, mid-majors are dominating the NIT with the Atlantic 10 and the AAC combining for 10 slots. And it'd be a weird job to have, but say you were a rep for the NIT. Tough times. 15 schools turned down the NIT this year.
Oh, man.
And, they just a number of them said they're going to pass, similar to the record 17 teams that passed last year on their NIT invite. So there's a whole bunch of teams that are like, no, we're good. 12-20 record. South Carolina had an automatic bid with the NIT, the result of an NCAA change last fall to give birth to the top SEC and ACC schools not in March Madness. LSU, a 14 and 18 team, also had an NIT bid after the SEC placed 14 teams in March Madness. Both schools turned down the invites, said no. So it sounds like anybody that is offered a shot at the NIT says no. No, they'd rather not. Falling on hard times, buddy.
Maybe we could help them. Who knows? As this thing splits. Oh, there you go.
Trying to help out our beloved NIT.
It's the shirt that just says ding ding, and then you have the big apple and the Statue of Liberty. NIT. This is ding ding.
Yeah, and you've also have the issue with the portal looming, and the requirement of at least 7 available scholarship players matters to be able to field a team. And a lot of players are saying, "I'm out. I got to go. Sorry, don't have time to play in your silly ass NIT."
What if the NIT became a portal tournament? All kids that want to be in the portal and go somewhere new. You got to be fresh and new as the NIT. And these kids could be from D2, D3. They want to find a new home. This is their showcase event, is the NIT.
Well, a little bit like the slam dunk contest in the NBA, where non-NBA kid wins it every year.
Yeah, right. But in this case, these kids could land an offer from a power institution. They just haven't been on film.
Freshen it up, Tom Lang. I like it. Freshen it up.
They call me NIT Lizzie.
Well, they already well played. They already had a botched situation in which they called South Alabama and said, "You want to be in the NIT?" And South Alabama said, "I do want to be in the NIT. My kids want to play. I'm going to go tell them right now that we're playing postseason basketball. Well, you do that. You have an invite. Click. Kids, we're going to the postseason. It's not what we wanted, but it's what we earned. We're headed to the NIT. Practice first thing in the morning. Bring, bring. Yeah. Listen, got to rescind the NIT offer. I am so sorry, but you see, there was a bit of a mix-up. UC Irvine, who we wanted more than you, frankly, actually said, yes, we thought they were going to that other thing that we didn't even know still existed, and they weren't. They were coming here, so we're rescinding your offer. Them's the breaks, but congrats on a great season. Almost worthy of an NIT bid. You have a great evening. That's how that went down. Their coach said, Coach Riley, a meaningless apology to the most meaningful group of players I've ever coached. And he tweeted it. There it is.
I believe we've lost to that program.
Oh, it's South Alabama?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure.
In the lows of the previous downswing between 1.0 and 2.0 for Coach Ham, I'm almost certain that I was on the beat at that point for a loss to USA.
Oh, I think so. And I remember it being like silly. Yeah. Also, Life Spectator, you are correct. Can we stop with the multiple invites annually to teams out of the Mountain West just so they can get bent over and over and over and over again? They're not any good. With rare exception. Tom has posted what I was going to get to before I went on my NIT rant. Sign-ups for the JCS Golf Tournament. There is the link right there. It is in the chat. But you might be driving around and you say, that does me no good. So you want to go to eventcreate.com. Try to store this, guys. Don't be writing or texting into your notes while you're driving. eventcreate.com/e/JCS Golf 2025. eventcreate.com/e/JCS Golf 2025. There you go. That's how you can do it. Don't worry.
Or you can go on
I'm going to tell you more and more about it.
Jeff's Twitter, and I just put out a tweet. I'm sorry. I ghost wrote, but I don't mind ghost writing if I claim it.
Yeah, I don't mind that you ghost wrote.
I put, quote, "Hey, peeps, sign up to play in my golf tournament," with the link. There you go. That's a tweet that exists right now. And that's the link. So you don't have to bookmark it.
Allegedly authored by me.
That's right. It says, "Hey, peeps."
Swiss Irish. This encapsulates kind of a problem why we are often pushing back when people get mad at players for coming and going. So my man at West Virginia, his team got screwed by the invite to North Carolina and then promptly took the Indiana job after 1 year at West Virginia. I mean, why even have a contract? Why even have a contract, buddy? Here's a little 9 months for that ass, and I'm out. But the players, I mean, these players shouldn't be getting any money or leaving. That's what I mean. Come on.
They call my era the pregnancy.
Oh, goodness gracious. I am looking forward to that golf tournament. And I really do love, not only Capital City Country Club does a great job, but we've got more and more sponsors. Got another one calling in today. We're going to get this all out there this week and kind of finalize who all's involved and who isn't. But the Second Harvest of the Big Bend is always involved. And that charity does wondrous things for this community and the surrounding communities, for people really in need. Can use our help. I think it's a great thing.
It's going to be a fun day. Added a few wrinkles last year that were fun. One was you could move up on the 9th hole, which is a par 5 that's reachable, but it becomes super reachable when you move up. And you get some
play
fireball
from the
shots.
chicks. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So you could play from the tips or the chicks.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey.
Yeah, but you move up, you get a fireball shot for doing so, for donating cash. They had the Taste of the Master sandwiches, which have always been a big hit from Chef Leon.
Yeah, you could go on that. Yeah.
A lot of stations and tents and coolers and so forth to keep you well hydrated, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm. It's an adult tournament.
Yes, the Gordo Smashes will be there. All of it. The spirits, the beers. It's going to be a good day. And then, in case you forgot to grab a beer over the course of the 4.5 hour tournament, which is hard to do, the post round is at Corner Pocket Bar and Grill with a wing feast and a keg of beer for the golf participants. It's a great day.
Doesn't suck. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
3 men are in custody following a multi-jurisdictional investigation into wanted people, drugs, and firearms that happened in Gadsden County during spring break. According to the Gadsden County Sheriff's Office, Dontavius Jackson, Troy Ellis, and Roderick Washington were all arrested in connection to the investigation. Jackson faces charges of possession of cocaine, felony possession of marijuana with intent to sell, possession of cocaine with intent to sell, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Ellis faces possession of a firearm. Washington faces charges of possession of cocaine and tampering with evidence. The arrests were a result of task force operations and investigations targeting drug and gang activity, violent criminals, and weapons violations. This is Rachel Lene with Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Ample sunshine expected this afternoon. Daytime highs approaching 79. Winds out of the south, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows level off around 57 tonight, partly cloudy skies. Chance for showers tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 71. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 73.
At Epps Decorating Center, we're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of shades and thousands of colors. We're your store for service with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help with all your painting projects. Benjamin Moore, available at Epps Decorating Center with 2 locations in Tallahassee. Find a store near you and visit EppsDecorating.com. That's EppsDecorating.com.
There he is. Haven't seen this guy since, what was it? Oh, shoot. You two at the Sphere in Las Vegas, baby.
Hey, how about that, man? Wasn't that fun?
Good show. Good show. Everything about it. Nearly perfect. Nearly perfect.
I had everything I could possibly want.
I wanted one thing, couldn't find it, and I looked everywhere. No Cubans.
What do you mean?
Cubans.
There was Cubans.
No, I didn't see any Cubans.
Dude,
no.
I'm sure there was Cubans there. I mean,
No. I walked around. There was a moment right before the show. I thought, got to find some Cubans. Nothing.
Dude, there's Cubans. There was Cubans. I'm sure there was Cubans.
In Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas.
No Cubans in Vegas.
There's Cubans in Vegas, man.
Eddie, there were no Cubans.
Chef.
The sandwich. There were no Cuban sandwiches. You're Cuban. Of course I know there were Cubans there.
Oh, the sandwich. Yeah, no, there probably wasn't many there in Vegas.
No Cubans.
No, not yet.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Man, having to hit Control Plus to increase the size of the text on your emails is a disappointing moment of truth. Just had to do it during the commercial break, reading my emails, Tom trying to catch up on some work-related stuff before we came back on the air, double-check some information I had jotted in my notes for on the air as well, and I couldn't read it. And it's been the same size text for 5 years, and now I'm like, am I going to bite the bullet? Am I going to reach over here and hit Control Plus sign?
I am very impressed that you knew to do that.
Oh, it's intuitive. But it's very rare that anything that's a non-Apple product is intuitive. That's where Apple always beats everybody's ass, is because everything is intuitive. This is usually not. But it just didn't it seem logical to you that Control Plus, perhaps Shift Plus, but Control Plus would be the mechanism by which to enlarge the text?
I mean, I already knew that for decades because of computer literacy courses.
Yeah, well, the computers didn't exist in my heyday, Tom.
Yeah.
This is how it worked.
There have been many times over the last 15, 16 years in which you said, Lang, get in here, or Tommy, get in here, or whatever name that I was called at the time.
Sometimes Thomas.
Or intern, get in here.
T. Lizzie. Thomas. Tommy.
Hey, brother.
Tom. Brother. Hey, what the hell? Pointing at the screen. That's not even a name. I'm just, that's a hey.
How do I,
Right.
which meant, can you get in here and fix this?
Why won't this do this thing that should be easy to figure out, and probably is for anybody who's computer literate, but isn't for me. So, hey, I've gotten better.
I remember teaching you hotkeys for copy, paste, and cut.
Oh yeah, I've got those down pat.
That's clearly because this is.
It's back there. I instantly knew. Oh, that's just Control Plus. Let's go. But it was a sad moment. I had to do the finger heading towards Control. Do I want to do this? Could just be a bad day. Might be the pollen. There was a bit of a fog, a haze over the entire city yesterday in Tallahassee. Wreaked havoc. And I don't normally have like bad sinuses or anything, but this one, anyhow, there's a blur today. I was pissed about it, and I just said, well, this is stupid. You can enlarge the text and read accordingly, and I did, but I feel like it's the marker. Do you know, we'll move to the sports in a second, that I can mark the time where I went from no glasses to glasses, and then also when I went from glasses to contacts. I still wear glasses when I'm not exercising or not on the air where I'm going to be going to do something afterwards, like exercise or play golf or whatever it might be. I don't like to wear glasses for those endeavors. I don't like to wear glasses while I'm lifting. I don't like to wear glasses while I'm running. I don't like to wear glasses while I'm playing golf. Any sort of activity, I don't want to wear glasses. Chilling, reading a book, hanging out the house, whatever it might be, watching the tube. Yeah, I will wear glasses and take my contacts out. That's the way it works. But the day I was in the studio in which the moment of truth happened, this is how long ago this was. So I'm 53. I was, I think, 30, maybe 33. So maybe 20 years ago. And I was reading, I'll never forget it, the baseball insert before the start of baseball season in USA Today. They had the MLB. What was that thing called? It was, whatever it was called. Baseball something today. It was great. They had this insert, and it was a thorough review of all the teams. And I was like, here we go. And I was trying to read that, and I swear to God, Tom, I had that paper. Matt Millar walked in. I'm holding the paper from here to like the door.
Was it the Stratomatic? Is that what it was?
No, it wasn't the Stratomatic. But I was holding the paper all the way as far as I could, and trying to read it, and I still couldn't see it. I was like, well, this is not a good thing. This is a problem.
Was 20 VTI a problem at that point? At that point as well?
I don't know what this is. I don't know what to do with this. I went in and got glasses.
We go to Melissa on line 3. That would be Adam. Adam's on line 3. Oh.
Well, no, I can, like, if the word is, say, life, I can see at a distance, like, the E at the end of the word and the L at the beginning of the word.
Lipe. Interesting.
Yeah. Lipe, how are you? Chalky.
Lipe's chalky?
Burnt. work, friends. These words I could see like, ooh, I think that's friends. That might be that's a work. That says something about work. Yeah, that's where I was at.
Is that thorough or though? I
Or
think there's
thorough.
Yeah.
Solution. Things like that. That's where I was at. What do you hope to hear today? We get Norvell, right? Don't we, today after this faux practice?
Well, I know it's going to be a good work day, so I don't need to worry about that.
I'm just hoping some meat on the bone for Coach Cameron translates tomorrow. I'm hoping we get a little meat on the bones for me to jump in, both feet deep in. Let's go.
I'm looking for him to say the words "as advertised" about a newcomer. I think that if we're putting live odds on as advertised, probably plus 130. It's a slight dog, nearly even money. I feel like there's going to be a question about one specific person. It could be James Williams. It could be Deuce Robinson. It could be Squirrel, whoever. A lineman. Well, he's as advertised.
Well, you wouldn't be able to say it about a lineman. They're not hitting anybody today. Nobody's hitting a thing.
Could be about the size.
Okay.
Tylon Lee, true freshman. First impressions of any of the true freshmen, Tylon Lee, as advertised. Look, he looks the part. He looks the part.
I guess, man. Good work day, you're right, will probably be the first comment.
I mean, my God, within the first 6 words.
Good work day.
Mm-hmm.
Really like the enthusiasm.
I mean, Jimbo used to have 3 or 4 of them that he rotated around. I thought it was a good, solid day. But then sometimes it would be terrible. He'd find a word, awful, terrible.
Needs work.
Needs a lot of work. You get a lot better.
Got to get a lot better. I want our coach to say that after every practice.
And then he would get mad. The days he got mad, and he'd say, well, we'll fix it. You can bank on it. And that's how you can bank on it. You can bank on it. We're going to fix it. We're going to find out.
We got better today, Alex. That's not a bad one. That's not a bad one. There's just, again, this is what he's up against right now after going 2-10. No, there's not a lot he can say. So here you go. Here's further proof that I'm not overly concerned about not having access, especially after what happened. Does he really? Were you surprised? So we got an email, and it informed us all of the new policy regarding no media at practice. But within that email, it had Mike's statement regarding that. But then it also had a list of days that you were going to get players, player requests, and then and the coordinators and Coach Norvell. And Coach Norvell was on there like every day. Pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I thought, well, there's no need to do that.
Well, that's true.
I mean, there's no need to do that.
You know what? It is. It's a trade-off.
No,
less access, more Mike. Less access, you get more Mike for press conferences.
No.
But yes, and
it doesn't help him. It doesn't do him any favors.
I believe in most camps, not season, but camps, you would get one of the assistant coaches at some point throughout camp, an individual. So today's day would be Odell's day. Today's day would be Randy Shannon's day, or it would be Ron Dugan's or Coach Yak or whoever. I don't see that on the docket. So it's just coordinators every so often, and then Mike.
Don't even bother with Gus. He's not going to say a damn thing that matters.
There's an old school guy.
Mm-hmm. Don't even bother. I'd roll Tony White out there to answer every question every day.
Even about the offense?
Yeah. He's engaging. He's interesting. He's got something to say. He's upwardly mobile. Yeah.
He would tell you more about the offense.
Yes, he would.
Yeah.
Within 5 seconds. That's who I'd have answer every question. Outside that day, I wouldn't even bother.
I'm an old school guy.
Yeah.
We're going to run the ball. We're going to throw it down the field.
Or I'd have fun with it, like just to make sure he understood where he is in the hierarchy. If I were Mike, I'd send out an email that says, you get Gus tomorrow for 30 seconds.
You could ask Tony that question the first time we get him, which will be in about a week's time.
Well, he's great. I already talked to him. He was wonderful.
Do you believe that Gus is an old school guy?
Well, I'll tell you this, and I said it yesterday. Tony right away did tell us that, he's been asked the question about whether or not practice is going to be more physical.
Yeah.
And he said, look, one thing about Gus's offense, besides tempo, is they want to run the ball down your throat. They want to run the ball, which by definition is physical. And, again, I would guess that you by definition at that point have to be able to respond in kind. You're trying to teach your defense to be a physical unit. They're facing the run. They're trying to run it down your throat. The only way you combat that is to be physical, to be stout against the run, force them out of it. So I would think if that is the goal for both sides, you're going to have to change the way you practice, whether Mike wants to or not. That's going to be what they have to do.
Yeah, if they had the exact same staff returning, even if it was a different win-loss record, and they changed the policy, because apparently he was thinking about it last year, about maybe restricting access to some of the practices. It wouldn't have hurt as much in terms of just pure intrigue. I would love to see what the material differences are in that specific facet, because here's the thing. You're going to have to get that answer from people who are watching day to day. If we do get access to the scrimmage that they said we're going to learn about in a couple weeks' time, all right, I'll hold my breath. You're going to ask Mike or the players or the coordinators, is it, how physical is it? They're going to say it is. You're going to say, is it more physical than last year? They're going to say, yeah, it is. But we're going to have to lean on the people inside to let us know. Is it actually, are they going to the ground more often? Are there more moments where you hear the players on one half of the field going, woo, because somebody got lit up or somebody got run over in a moment? That's the thing that when we get the whispers from the birds around the program, I want to know. Number one, more than any individual player's performance, more than a report on how a coach sounds and looks and has command of his team or his side of the football, I want to know, are they hitting more? Are they having to get separated more? Are there more moments of incidents without, punches being thrown, but the blood's up? Is there more of that? Because I sure hope so. Both of these schemes, offensively and defensively, do lend themselves to it. I hope they do it.
Well, we will see soon enough how they choose to address what each practice looked like and what it was. I am kind of curious. It'll be fascinating to see what they do. It is it's different. Doesn't mean it can't be interesting, and we're going to get reports either way, but it's certainly not going to happen this week with anything too interesting, other than I would imagine that they'll hit the field with a level of vigor and intensity that's as much as you can have without hitting.
I would just like to bring a local citizen of this area who's got the real drawl, the real country drawl, and they could ask Mike, y'all hitting? And that's it. Like, there's a break. You know how it goes in a scrum. There's a break, a pregnant pause, which basically means somebody ask a question and this is getting shut down. And then there's this guy in the back goes, y'all hitting? I'm sorry, sir? Y'all hitting?
Y'all hitting?
At least.
I was here a year ago, Mike.
Y'all hitting?
Y'all hitting this time around?
That's all I want to know.
It's football. That would be funny as hell. Just tell me that you're hitting. Not who's hitting better than everybody else, just that y'all are hitting.
None of that thud nonsense. What even is that? We're not playing thud ball, Mike.
That would
y'all
be
hitting?
Hilarious. Call T-Spark for your next roofing or construction project. They conquer all peaks. TSparkConstruction.com. Yes, they are, of course, licensed. And talk about multifaceted. They do commercial as well as residential roofing. They can do a home remodel. They throw in additions. I may talk to them about an addition. May need an addition. You can't be Johnny Ray Jones, Crawfordville Times. Y'all hitting?
The Crawfordville Times is something we're going to have to go back to.
From here on out.
Yeah.
Coach Johnny Ray Jones here, Crawfordville Times. Y'all hitting? That long pause would be so good, right?
Coach Johnny Ray Jones, Crawfordville Times. Can y'all catch the ball this year?
My favorite part about Johnny Ray Jones of the Crawfordville Times is that he thinks Mike should know him. So it's going to be sort of a Coach, good to see you again, Johnny Ray Jones, Crawfordville Times. Listen, can you catch the ball? Not you personally, but can the team catch the ball? How's the catching going? And secondly, Coach, if you would, are you hitting? You guys hitting it all? Just straightforward, are you hitting?
We talked about this when I saw you at the Janny's lunchbox. We talked about the catching.
Prevent leaks before they start. Many large roof issues could have been avoided by fixing small leaks and defects before they worsened. Once again, reach out to my friends at T-Spark Construction, T-Spark Enterprises, 850-766-1340. That is 850-766-1340. Thanks, Coach.
The best happy hour in the city is at Café de Martín and El Bar. All day, every day, you can find great deals at Café de Martín while enjoying the best outdoor seating Tallahassee has to offer. Sip away on 2-for-1 house wines, chilcanos, and margaritas all day long, Monday through Thursday. Plus 2-for-1 pisco sours and margaritas on Fridays and Saturdays, and 2-for-1 mimosas for Sunday brunch. Come join us at Café de Martín, where every hour is happy hour, in the Esposito Shopping Center on Capitol Circle Northeast.
All right, about that time to upgrade my iPad and my Apple Gear. How much memory do I need? What upgrade should I get? What size screen? How many chargers do I need? USB-C, USB-D, mini USB, USB-B, ABC, 1, 2, 3?
If only there was a local business that can guide you and help you understand what you need and get you the best pricing possible. Oh, wait, that's what they do at Mac & More Systems. Get help buying the right gear for the right price and have it shipped directly to their store for pickup, all at no extra cost. That's the kind of service you won't get at any big box store. Shop local at Mac & More Systems. Find out more online at macandmoresystems.com.
Leaky faucet, busted pipes, clogged toilet? M&L Plumbing is here for you. For all commercial, construction, and residential plumbing issues, call M&L Plumbing at 575-9393 or visit online at mnlplumbing.com.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Crescent, Tallahassee. Your sports flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
Florida basketball senior guard Walter Clayton Jr. has been named an AP first-team All-American. He scored in double figures in 29 of his 33 appearances this season, including the last 18 in a row. He has scored 18 points in 9 of his last 12 games and 11 games with 20 or more points. Florida basketball getting ready for the NCAA tournament. Their first game is going to be coming up on Friday when they are set to match up against Norfolk State. Other college basketball going on. The NIT getting underway yesterday. More first-round matchups today. And for Florida Atlantic, they are at home in Boca Raton, and they are set to match up against Dayton. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance, and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet. And we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place.
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business.
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mow.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Is your septic system talking? Well, when it hits the fan, it's no fun at all. And if it comes up from the ground just bubbling out of your land, man, you can guarantee that definitely ain't Texas tea. At a time like this, there's only one call to make. Terry West Plumbing, your trusted septic and sewer experts. From pump outs to inspections, repair, new installation, or when it's really hitting the fan. Contact Terry West Plumbing today. Get only the best with Terry West. Visit terrywestplumbing.com.
Hey, Greg, did you know that some cars are more prone to auto glass damage than others?
I did not know that.
Yeah, a Jeep windshield is flat, making it very prone to damage. Nissan Rogues are popular. Toyotas, Subarus are always in my shop because they get damaged frequently and they require recalibration.
So you guys see a lot of SUVs.
Yeah, I guess the angle of the glass has a lot to do with it.
But it's not like you can avoid a rock no matter what you're driving.
Exactly. So just go to SeminoleAutoglass.com and let us take care of everything for you.
So how often do you see a DeLorean?
From time to time. Better call Seminole.
The weather is unpredictable and can cause issues around your home. Weston Trawick provides commercial, residential, and industrial electrical wiring services, yearly inspections on fire alarms, portable generator sales, and so much more. With 24/7 emergency service and repair, Weston Trawick will be your calm in the storm. Give them a call at 514-0003. Weston Trawick. Professional electrical services day or night. Visit online at westontrawick.com.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50. For those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
you're listening in Topeka, I don't know if the weather's nice in Topeka today or not. Could be awful. Ever been to Topeka? Bet you haven't. No. That's how regionally locked in Tom is. He doesn't take it to Topeka. I'm kidding.
I think not too many Midwest areas. You've been to far more of the Midwest than I have.
That is true. You will. You got time. I'm older than you. You've got a lot of time to experience all that the Midwest has to offer.
This is all true. I'm very happy that we have decided in the break that Johnny Ray Jones at the Crawfordville Times is actually known as
Coach Johnny Ray Jones.
Coach Johnny Ray Jones.
Yeah, and he goes like this when he asks Norvell questions. Coach Johnny Ray Jones. So it's a point. It's a double point. It's coach to coach. Coach Johnny Ray Jones. Listen, I was wondering, and then it goes from there, however it goes.
Right. And Coach Johnny Ray Jones hasn't coached in decades.
27 years to be exact.
That's right.
27 years. But don't get it twisted. Coach has remained locked into the community. He's helped out some of them programs in the Crawfordville area that needed it from time to time voluntarily.
He also was assistant running backs coach in Cairo back in the early 90s.
True.
Which he'll tell you about.
Yeah. And also when he was the head coach there with one of the schools in Crawfordville, they got to the state semis and would have won it all if not for an injury to their starting quarterback. And he'll tell you that tragic story many times over.
But the byline in the Crawfordville Times
says Coach Johnny Ray Jones.
100%.
And he is revered. He is revered. They love Coach Johnny Ray Jones. He's at your local diner talking about yesterday's practice. I heard them Thomasville boys. And that's all. Everybody understands what that means.
That's right. If you want a quiet workspace for breakfast, don't go to the diner.
Don't go to that diner,
because
no.
You'll hear his voice from the parking lot.
Well, you don't go there for that, Tom. It's understood. You're trying to get the rundown. But I like that Coach Johnny Ray Jones says, word is them Thomasville boys. And then just somebody goes, and then they sip a cup. Everybody understands. Colquitt County better get it.
They're going to bring him something.
I've been trying to tell them boys. That's how that works. I've been trying to tell them boys is a often used phrase as well. That is oft used phrase.
We have an early rendering of Coach Johnny Ray Jones. We're working on it. We're work shipping. Shipping? We're workshopping.
Yeah, we're workshopping. Yeah. You've got the image? There. Yes, that's good. Why is he in a classroom? Oh, is that a chalkboard for the locker room?
That's right. It's a chalkboard. Yeah. Always around. He doesn't use whiteboards. He's an old school guy. I hate those expo markers. They never work. You got to get the scissors out. You cut them.
I like that he's got plans. You know, he can't wait. The second you ask him about a play or a thing. Cuse and Dion are still waiting on NCAA, by the way. I did a follow-up on that since I brought it up before that. You and I didn't get done laughing together. We didn't get a chance to laugh together. I did it in the bonus hour. We haven't discussed the fact now that they don't even try to hide it. The NCAA agreed to permanently dropping the rule about prohibiting athletes from negotiating terms of their NIL deal straight out of high school. Okay. So it's not pay for play. We can't call it pay for play yet. We're now signing high school kids to their big NIL deals. I see how this works. Student athletes.
Is that how Johnny Ray Jones says it?
Oh, that's too good, man. Is there anything better than that? It's an NIL deal, is it? Yeah. Remember, this all started, Tom. You told me many times over that I was going to get in trouble when I described certain monies being available for players that we were trying to bring in here, including one really talented wide receiver who ended up going to Ohio State and changing the fortune of the Buckeyes this year on their way to a national championship, that we couldn't discuss the money he might make because that's considered an inducement.
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's an inducement. Got it. And the NCAA was trying to keep schools and boosters and collectives from using those kinds of NIL deals as incentive for high school kids to sign. Couldn't talk about the possibility of an NIL deal until the kid had already signed. Sure. Because, the return on investment for the local car lot that's never heard of Jerry Smith, wide receiver out of Ocala, can't wait to get him in here to sell their next fleet.
Them Ocala boys. Them Ocala boys can play.
I mean, come on, man. Just say it now. This might expedite the whole situation, right?
Well, if it can expedite the era of incentivized contracts, that would really
multi-year deals.
Yeah, binding contracts and whatever it takes to get there, I'm all for it. It's just the inducement provision blocks the ability for a collective to pay for exceptional performance. It's guaranteed no matter what. Essentially, a college football player is more like a Major League Baseball player than an NFL player in terms of the way their contract is set up. When an MLB player signs a 10-year deal, whatever it says that they're going to get paid, they're going to get paid. They can play 5 games. Yes. They can play 5 games, and they're going to get paid the full freight. Football, you're always like, oh, that's great. He signed for $126 million. What is it guaranteed? And Schefter will be like, well, it's 42 guaranteed. Okay, so that total doesn't mean anything. For college athletes, signing with the Battle's End or the collective near you if you're in a different part of the country, that's what they're going to get. And they can't tie it to performance. They can't tie it to anything because that would be an inducement.
There's about to be a bigger argument. I'm really curious to see how this plays out. If you look around the country, some collectives are operating under the guise of whatever this pseudo salary cap that is going to come with the House settlement is to be. Yeah, they're operating and collecting and raising money the way they always did previous to all of this information, as if it's not real, as if it's not a thing, as if it's not going to be able to be enforced. Our athletic director believes wholeheartedly, at least that's what he states publicly, that there is going to be a hard number, $20.5 million, to be dispersed amongst the athletic programs, and that any deals above and beyond the 20.5 that gets dispersed amongst the athletes is going to be closely monitored and enforced by some, is it independent or NCAA committee?
It would be Deloitte, third party.
Okay, third party to see if it, adds up?
Passes muster, if you will.
Okay, a lot of the collectives are operating under the assumption that simply legally will not hold up to challenge.
Yes, and so much so I saw a legal mind yesterday on the social media sphere, an actual lawyer though, speak on why would you declare it? Why would you? Yeah, you're going to have to present it. You're going to have to present. Well, because allegedly there was going to be a major deterrent that if you tried to circumvent this rule, then you would be you'd lose millions or fined or whatever it was going, or the player be ruled ineligible, or whatever. But the idea is if this firm, if Deloitte has a wing that's just for college athletes, and they say no, that's not the going rate, right? The moment that happens, you're triggering legal action, and this is all going to get tied up in the courts. And I'll guarantee you, while it's tied up in the courts, you're going to keep on paying that person. That's exactly what they're going to do. And because they're going to find out that none of this is real. What are we talking about? Nobody is getting the return. You give a kid $700,000 to try to sell Volkswagen vans or what? I'm making something up, right? Unless it's Arch Manning or something like that. Nobody knows who any of these kids are. And they're certainly not going to buy vans because of them. Well, and what about market areas? Right. New York City's a lot different than Tallahassee. It's a lot different than LA. It's a lot different than Austin. If you're in Starkville or you're playing for USC, and you're getting a car dealership sponsorship, wouldn't that be automatically an advantage geographically for USC in a way that Deloitte would recognize? Well, there's a population density. This kid actually should be making, $60,000, where this other kid in Starkville could only make 12. Well, one thing's for sure is that if we're going to do it this way, and the collectives suddenly now have to be a marketing arm
to try to get these deals, like in earnest, real deals for kids, not like you're out in the community. You know what I mean? Like real.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good. Guess what? Those deals are not going to be $200,000. They're going to be $50. You know what they said? They said that you, the starting right guard for Florida State, if you show up on Saturday at the pool and sign autographs, it's worth $50 to them. That's what that's going to be worth.
Well,
$50.
This is where I've been saying it, and so have you, but like for 6 months to a year, they need to run into the arms of unionization. I've been saying it since the moment that this all was heading down this path. You need to run into the arms because it regulates the market. It allows you to set a price and an expectation, and then what it does is it gives you teeth for deterring action outside of the sphere. Because if there's action outside of the sphere of influence, and you guys have a binding collective bargaining agreement or whatever the hell you want to call it, now kids can't transfer it just on a whim. The contracts are binding, and that has force of law. These things don't.
Yeah,
they
well,
don't.
that's in terms of fan likability and the overall embracing of all of the changes that are occurring in college football, because fans hate this. The average fan that you run into hates all of this. Now, they usually use an all-encompassing statement or slur towards the players like, well, this NIL. And they mean unlimited free agency. That's what they mean. They mean unlimited transfers. They don't really care about the NIL. They think they do. They just use NIL as their catch-all term for everything that's wrong in college athletics.
Correct. Because
what they really hate is that players don't stay anywhere.
Yeah. No, if they cared about that,
well, then they'd care about coaches leaving all the time,
or their salaries being just astronomical, and they'd say, "I'm quitting. This is ridiculous."
Right?
How is a college football coach ever going to make $4 million, $5 million, $6 million, 11, 12,
14 million dollars a year?
This is out of control.
Correct.
You would have left then. You would have left then if you
no.
cared about NIL that much. But you're right. Yes, it's about loyalty and binding contracts.
But they're not wrong to hate unlimited transfers.
I agree.
Everybody should hate that. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. You can't run a sport that way.
Yes, I totally agree.
You know
that. Yes, you can't set it and forget it on signing day like you used to be able to. That's correct.
But it's just an absurd way of doing business. The NFL does it much better than you. You're going to be screwed. It'll be the ruination of the sport.
Yeah, I think that you should allow a kid out of high school to sign a one-year deal if he wants to. If he wants to roll the dice and bet on himself, go for it.
Right.
But if he doesn't, and he'd rather take the 3 or the 4 year offer, then you know that much. Because I think what people really like, sometimes we get so much into the weeds, it distorts my own vision. But you want to go on the journey with the player. As much as you can as a fan, you want to go on the journey and say, yeah, we worked really hard. He's really good. I wouldn't care if he wasn't really good. But I want to see him grow and turn into something that was a state of Georgia stud at running back. I can't wait to watch him grow in our system and then turn into this stud that's going to help us beat Florida and Miami. I want to hear the stories along the way.
One of the things that hurt college basketball is the stories, the soap opera, the growth, all of the things that you kind of associated with certain players at certain schools, and you watch them mature or not, or whatever it might be, as they rose through the 3-4 years they were in college. Sure.
And let's be honest, this is where you're cutthroat. You might be okay with the 5th-year senior who's at running back, but you really love that freshman. And, he's limping off the field. I hope he's okay, but I got to be honest.
Yeah, I got to see my guy.
Let's see what my guy can do. Like those moments.
You can't connect to anybody right now, and you certainly can't trust. And you don't – so what I've said repeatedly is I don't in any way begrudge a player for trying to take advantage of a situation such as this where they have an opportunity to make money in a sport where everybody but the players have made money forever. And they have never been held accountable. Coaches just walk wherever their agent tells them to go.
Yep.
And the school's left high and dry. They feel bent over a barrel because they never can help themselves from spending the money and giving the extra years and allowing the agent to manipulate them as if there are no other good coaches out there. They never can. The coach can preach loyalty all day long to a player and then an hour later get the phone call of his dreams in peace. The whole thing is crappy, but it's it's not NIL that people hate, because I don't think people care that a kid might get $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. The rare exception is the superstar that we're talking about, who carries the day. And, listen, a Jameis Winston or a Tim Tebow would have deserved millions of dollars for all the money they brought into their university. And I think people can stomach that too.
Absolutely.
They can stomach that. The jersey sales, the ticket sales, the achievements, the long-term effects of that rating and all of that.
Yeah, why is football any different than all other major sports?
Right.
I mean, you have teenage phenoms in every other sport. Is it hard to do? Absolutely.
It's also incredibly rare, right?
It's rare. But you got dudes in the PGA, the NHL, the NBA. They all at 18, 19 years old are making absurd amounts of money. So it should be available too.
But they're under contract.
Yeah, they are.
That's the difference. That's the whole thing. They're not going anywhere.
Right. If I knew that when we flipped Chroma in the early signing period, there's not even a day for it anymore, which that was a holiday, damn it. If I knew that he signed a 3-year deal that day, not only did he flip to us, so we're going to get him for at least one. Like, that's the math that I think I yearn for a day for this. We signed him to a 3-year deal?
Boom, forget about it. He's ours. Let's go.
Now I can invest. Questions about him, or when we get into game 9 and we've lost 3 games that season, it's disappointing. Maybe beset by injuries, whatever it is.
Throw in the young kid.
I'm not saying let's not play him. I don't want him to get poached. Like, that's just horrible math to do. It should be let him play as much as he can.
That's what I was just talking about with the spring game and what we're dealing with right now. Yeah. Coaches are literally paranoid that people are getting a glimpse of their players because of practice access, because of a spring game. And in today's climate where somebody can come sweeping in, obviously make a go at 5, 6, 7 of your players, offer them slightly more than whatever they're making there with you that particular year, and nothing is holding them accountable to it. They can walk. And now it's bred is a bunch of paranoid coaches.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can think about it even at the high level with kids that are proven and they've been there for a year or two. When Jahmyr Gibbs entered the portal a couple of years ago, the first year, I go, oh, man.
Yeah, it's a stud.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I know we can't get him, but I sure would love to get Jahmyr Gibbs. I love that player. He's going to Alabama, I was told immediately.
Oh, yeah, it was over.
Oh, so you're telling me before he entered the portal, this was decided?
Like, how? How did that happen?
Right. It's just the same thing with Beck. It's like, well, there might be another team out there, but Miami's not going to lose. When Beck entered the portal from Georgia, Miami's not going to lose that one. They can't afford to. There's nobody left. Oh, so you're telling me that this is predetermined before they enter the portal? That's also the key part of it, too.
They were not tampering with anybody's roster. There were no inducements or incentives. Come on now. You do not have to process transactions or change your point of sale to work with my friends at Tried and True Consulting. That's right. If you're using, say, a Square for your point of sale and you want to put up a menu board that integrates with your point of sale, give John, Joe, Rusty a call today. You have the opportunity to do some good things. Look, man, you can add that if you want a free ad board, something like that, John and Joe run the pricing analysis on payments and they see what they can do to help you upgrade your technology, and then they'll give you the free ad board as well. Throw that in there to boot. Give them a call today. Many businesses around town have saved money. They've worked with fellow Knowles, and they're excited to do so. You could be part of that today. 844-464-6653, 844-464-6653.
AC and electric is what we do. Service, repairs, and installation too. 222-7722.
Is your home ready for anything? At Parker Services AC and Electrical, we do more than just keep you cool. We keep your whole home running smoothly. From AC maintenance and duct cleanings to whole home generator installations, we've got everything you need for comfort and reliability. Join our Peak Performance membership to keep your HVAC system in top shape and catch issues before they turn into costly repairs. And with a reliable generator, you'll never be left in the dark again. Call Parker Services today, where comfort is just a call away. Florida license number CMC 050334 and EC 1301240.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Hey, everybody, it's Ed Dean along with Roger Henderson, also with FloridaDaily.com. Just want to remind you, daily 4 to 6 in the afternoons right here in Tallahassee on Real Talk 93.3 FM. Roger, it is literally the 2 fastest hours anywhere in afternoon talk radio.
And if you think the country's going crazy, we'll help you make sense of it all.
Oh, yeah, we'll try to make some sense of it. Again, Monday through Friday in the afternoons, Ed Dean, Roger Henderson on 93.3.
Rock Trailblazer, Brantley Gilbert, the Tattoos Tour 2025.
These ain't just some fashion, this is the way.
The Donald L. Tucker Civic Center on Friday, April 11th, with special guests Travis Denning and Austin Snell. Tickets are on sale now. Ticketmaster.com. The brand new album Tattoos is available everywhere. For more, visit BrantleyGilbert.com. Produced by Pepper Entertainment.
Ain't nothing but a G-Pod, baby. I am 99% sure that is not how the lyrics go.
Well, you like remixes, right?
Of course.
Well, think of this as a Grassroots Coffee remix per se, because Grassroots Coffee is now in the single-serve coffee pod game.
Dude, those single-serve coffee pods and cups are weak sauce.
Not Grassroots Coffee G-Pods. They have more coffee in them than regular single-serve pods and cups.
Seriously?
And not only do they have more coffee, they have a built-in filter for better brewing. They fit in most Keurig machines, and they are fully compostable.
It's still the small batch, slow roasted coffee you love, so go to grassrootscoffee.com and get your box of G-Pods today.
Baby!
See? Remix!
Well, actually, that's more of an homage.
Grassroots Coffee, locally owned, locally roasted, and made for everyone, loved everywhere.
Grassroots Coffee G-Pods. So very good.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Not that it matters all that much, but damn him. Jalen Milroe ran a 4.37 at Pro Day. That's a big dude out here running 4.37.
Go get him, Philly. You don't have to change much of your playbook if Jalen never got dinged up week to week.
That's a big guy. That's what I feared when we were, thinking about playing Alabama. I didn't fear his deft touch and pinpoint accuracy, that's for sure. I feared that dude would take off. And you're like, well, that dude's 6'2", 230, just flying at 4.3. You got to want to tackle something like that. You've got to have a whole lot of want to you.
Yeah.
And based on the evidence last year, I didn't see the want to.
You're going to have to build some will here. You're going to have to build some will. It would have been fun to watch that too. Just that choice that they make of how to dictate the tenor, the tone, the feeling of practice. I would have liked to have seen that.
I have no doubt, and I can't prove it because I won't be out there. But we'll find out. But I have no doubt that Tony White's practice is going to sound very different than what we've watched. And that's not even a shot. I can tell it's going to sound a lot different. There's a tone, a tenor. There is something about the way the man presents himself, talks about the game of football, played himself, all those things that tells me, I don't think he's going to settle on guys who turn it down.
No, but he tells you that too.
He does with every word.
He warns you that it's coming. There are some coaches that I think they like the shock value of being a different dude on the field than they are in maybe the classroom or the meeting room. Tony is very clear about what's coming. And that's good because we need it. It's sorely needed.
I asked him about the way he conducts practice on, for his segment group, the defensive side of the ball. And, one of the things that stood out to me, he had a lot to say about it on and off the record. But there was nothing salacious. So, all of it would fit under an umbrella of something that you could talk about. I think he wants his message out there. He was very, very much a guy who embraced the opportunity to meet the local press. He embraced the opportunity to talk about his philosophy. He embraced the opportunity to kind of get to know where people were coming from, who they worked for, and a nice exchange of ideas about the way he works, and obviously was willing to answer a lot of questions about his move from Nebraska to Florida State and the kind of opportunity he sees it as and how excited he is to be at a place like this. Very complimentary of Coach Norvell, very complimentary of the staff that he's working with and the guys that he gets to coach. It was a breath of fresh air. I really enjoyed, and I mean that sincerely, just a breath of fresh air. The guy, you could tell, is young and up and coming and excited about coaching football and excited about these guys and the opportunity that awaits. But he mentioned, on several occasions that when you are committed to something big like this, and I don't think he's specifically talking about an overhaul or a difference in scheme or a new place. He's talking about the rigors, the day-to-day operation of a football program, of a practice, what life is like for a football player, a kid in a program, how much they have to commit, how much they have to give of themselves, how much they have to sacrifice. They don't get to do a lot of the other fun things that happen in college for the general population that isn't a collegiate athlete, right? That's part of the sacrifice. You get a lot of great things from it, but you have to give up a lot of things. You're not going to that party on Thursday night. You got practice first thing in the morning. You got meeting, whatever he's like, look, at the end of the day, if you got to be somewhere for upwards of 10 hours most of the day, every day, you can either look at it as something that you loathe to do, that you hate to do, that's a chore, or it can be something that you embrace, find fun, and there got to be ways in which we do that, where we have fun together. It may end up being the hardest thing you ever do, but you come out of it every day having felt like it was rewarding, felt like you learned something, felt like you got better, felt like you couldn't come back, you couldn't wait to come back tomorrow because it's going to suck, it's going to be hard, and I'm going to walk away better than I was the day before. Some of that's coach speak, some of that's rhetoric that you hear a lot of coaches talk about, but I think there's something to the mentality that I got to do this either way. Why not get better? Why not go through this incredibly difficult thing and learn something and get a lot better so that it becomes more fun for me? Because the better you are at something, the more you like to do it. That's the way it works. Like the reward for when you suck at something, if you just suck in perpetuity, at some point you stop. You're like, well, I'm not going to do this every day. I'm awful at it. I can't do this. People get in a rut if it's a subject that, maybe the other side of their brain works better. Maybe they think a certain way, so they're great in science and English or something, and they struggle in math, or vice versa, whatever it might be. When you show somebody, I can get you better. I can show you. This is going to be tough, but we're going to do this together. It's going to be awesome. And soon you'll see. And then they are rewarded with successes. They'll come back. They can't wait to do it again. And it's hard. And they're like, oh, man, this is tough. But they keep doing it. That's kind of what he was trying to get across, that like, look, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy. Hell, football's hard, really hard. And defensive football is really hard because you have to want to be there. You have to want to do it. You have to commit to that. There's a lot of sacrifice that goes into football in general, but defensive football in particular, because you fill a role where another guy gets the glory many times. We've talked about this a lot. I liked it. It won't matter until we see them play. People can get excited about that or not. People can say, great, heard it all before, got it. It was refreshing to me, the enthusiasm that he had for the position, for the opportunity, and for the chance to make kids better.
Yeah, so it's fair to say that when he speaks during the spring, it's must-see TV.
Hopefully. I mean, I don't know how he's going to be post-practice. He was the other day at the luncheon.
Yeah, he was. But there's so much for him to sort through. I think also, in his case, you would want to use those minutes very wisely to help pump up or cool off some players that he's trying to elevate, and or some competitions that he's got his eye on. Those are going to be important minutes, especially, this is the thing. Every word that he says now matters more because there is not access to practice. So if he really wants to make sure that somebody gets their flowers or somebody gets challenged because, oh man, you had a couple good days. What, you think you're hot stuff? You think you're going to be an all-ACC player? You got another thing coming. The messaging that they're going to choose to, inject, these are very real choices that you're going to make before you step to the podium. I need to make sure that I praise Charles Lester today. He's been great since I last spoke to the media. I got to make sure that if there's any question about young defensive backs, I'm going to single him out because he's having a good camp or he needs a kick in the pants or whatever, that kind of stuff. He has, specifically at safety, I think he's got his hands full. If you want to get into the weeds.
Yeah.
Because if Shai's not available, and he's not, he might do some side work towards the end of spring, and Conrad Hussey's not available, which I'd argue that he hardly ever was, then you've got, material value to the field of play. Athleticism out the wazoo, but all right, man, you and Evan Cooper have a lot of work to do here at safety. That's a very important position in this defense, especially one of the safeties is, because you're going to be near the line of scrimmage. Man, there's a lot to sort through.
I hate that Shaheem Brown's not available for spring. I think he's the key to the whole thing. I think that his athleticism, his length, his overall talent and ability, not what he's put on film so far, not what he's done in games so far, because that's been lacking.
Freshman year Shaheem Brown's attitude, the nastiness.
All of that, if you get that righted and you get him believing and caring and you get him locked in, leading the way, being that guy that is the vocal leader as well as the physical leader, because it's in there. I ripped Shaheem's performance last year because he was a guy who I said, quote unquote, turned it down all the time. He did. And that's a guy who, as the season wore on and really became one that was off the rails, a lot of guys, including him, not just him, went through the motions. They did not give of themselves in a way that you have to, in the way that good defensive football teams do. And I never said he couldn't, because you've seen it. There have been pockets of it. He did it all throughout high school, clearly, and then he did it some here when he first got here. But he was really despondent based on what that team was a year ago, and they didn't get anything really out of him at all.
There's a lot of this is it for a lot of players. You don't have to be on your final year of eligibility. You went 2-10 last year, and I'm sure there were quite a few players who thought that, if they put it out there that they wanted to enter the portal, they'd get more calls back from tampering types, and they didn't. I'm sure that was for several players a rude awakening. Oh, I better enjoy where I am right now and get the most out of what I'm about to do here at Florida State because nobody wants me. I thought more people would. Here's your moment, because it's a brand new slate. I get it that you have a relationship now for a couple of months with these coaches and coordinators, but now practice matters so much more. And that type of desperation can come from anybody. It could come from a player who's a fifth-year player or a redshirt freshman who's saying, oh, you kidding me? New scheme? I'm going to leap these guys in line. I'm going to cut them in line because I'm faster and stronger than them anyway. Like, that's what you're hoping that you get out of this, is that that's cultivated, the access to playing time.
Yeah, and I don't know if it will. None of this is a guarantee that it's going to succeed. None of this, we understand that. I think Shaheem Brown's incredibly important, though. I think that's why I keep bringing him up, because I think if he can get him righted, everything falls into place.
A few years ago now, Jamie Robinson made a difference, right? Like that type of player. That enforcement that he brought to the field made a humongous difference in how the whole thing operated. I know the scheme is going to be asking different things of safeties, but if you've got a safety like that, that helps move things. It makes the world go round. And Tony's got a lot to sort through because it's new personnel, but then also, what scheme am I going to run?
I want him to succeed. I hate watching poor defensive football and listless, unenthusiastic, passive, soft-ass defensive football. It's just I know not everybody agrees with this. Some people are, their football passion and love is to see an offense that's clicking and humming and doing all those things, and that's cool. I like that too. I want it for us. But it really hurts my soul to watch people not want to hit and not really, give of themselves on that side of the ball defensively. It's just that was a bad marriage.
And that's where Coach Johnny Ray Jones would be asking.
No.
Y'all care
Y'all
this year?
Y'all hitting.
Y'all care?
Coach Donna Ray Jones. Yeah. Pinch a penny pools and spas, they care. They got that swinger package, baby. The 5-seater. Pinch a penny pools and spas, everything you need for pool maintenance, chemicals, cleaners, pumps, vacuums, nets, covers. They got it all. They have the largest selection of premium hot springs, hot tubs in the entire city. You can easily finance. I mean, sometimes it's as low gets, like $0. Look out for those deals when they have them in place. It's a good thing. Amazing hot tubs and really affordable. If you got an old hot tub and you say this thing is beat to hell, I got to get out of here, somebody's got to come haul this thing away. Pinch a Penny has a solution for it. They'll send a guy out. They'll grab it. They'll give you some money for it. Take it away. Clean it up. Here you go. It's money towards your new hot tub, which is a good thing. Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas. If you're ready to relax, they're ready to show you how. Hot Springs Pace Model 5-seater. Reduced to under $8,500. Waka waka. Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas.
Your local news now.
A Panama City woman charged with human trafficking of a minor was transported to Leon County Tuesday to face charges.
Happy hour. We would prefer it to be a healthy happy hour, and that's where my friends at Cornbread Hemp come into play. Your healthy happy hour, a natural and healthier way to experience a carefree moment. You can relax without doing the damage that alcohol sometimes inflicts. No, sir. Cornbread's THC gummies offer a balanced sense of happiness and relaxation. You can work it into your weekly routine. Maybe when you go to bed at night, calm the brain. You're not loopy. You're just feeling right. Go to sleep, get up, start your day feeling good. They are Farm Bill compliant, legal for adults over 21 years of age. Cornbread uses no harsh solvents, none of those pesticides and the like or anything like that. 10 milligrams of THC per gummy. That's for you. That's right. That's the way it works. If you're looking for a healthier way to enjoy a carefree moment, you have to give Cornbread Hemp a try. They've created a first ever USDA organic THC gummy, 100% legal. Special offer to Jeff Cameron Show listeners. You get 30% off your first order. Visit cornbreadhemp.com/warchant. Use promo code warchant at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/warchant. Use code warchant for 30% off your first order. Cheers to a healthier happy hour.
76.
Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used games, as well as new and used consoles like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600, PS4, and PS5. You name it. Locally owned and operated since 1994, trade-ins are not only welcome, but Games for Less pays more for your trade-ins than the big chain stores. That's not all. Games for Less now buys and sells new and used vinyl records to boot. George loves the Beatles, by the way. Reserve all the new releases today at Games for Less, conveniently located in the Walmart Supercenter Plaza on Appalachian Parkway. There is no Bigfoot, Eddie. Would you stop with that nonsense?
There's a Bigfoot, Jeff.
I wish there were. By the way, I don't want you to
Stop fighting the algorithm. You know you can't get enough Florida State filling your feed. Well, there's no better way to keep up with FSU on YouTube than with members-only level Warchant. It's going to get you bigger, faster, and stronger. How? Bigger.
It's hour number 2.
Join now for exclusive access to a bonus segment of the legendary Seminole headlines.
Faster.
Get debut access days in advance of the public release of the latest episode of X's and O's with Dominic Robinson, a look at the All-22 film.
Stronger.
Utilize the Member Milestone Chat, a new feature which allows your comment to be highlighted in live chats during warchant.com shows for maximum visibility. All of this in addition to members-only flair like badges, emojis, and polls to drive the conversation of the home of the Ultimate Seminole Sports Source on YouTube. Give it a try. Cancel it anytime. No commitments, no phone calls, no emails. Just a few clicks within your YouTube account. Warchant.com, members only YouTube. The next level in FSU coverage on YouTube.
Speaking of Games for Less, you just heard it if you were listening to the ads there, and that is a local game store. And, by the way, they have albums. Just went over and saw George late last week. Tom, got my new MLB The Show.
All right.
And I also got the new 2K Golf there, the Tiger. I got that.
All right, the Tiger copy?
Yeah, yep. Very excited. They had both. And you can swing in there now, get him off Appalachia Parkway, go over there and say hey to my man George. Do his album selection, top notch. He's come a long way. We've gone from 5 to 10 albums to holy moly, we got hundreds over here. And he's got great taste in music, so you're going to find your stuff.
Is it Morant's 30? You got more time now.
My Morant's, I almost pulled the trigger a couple weeks ago. Tommy, I want to do it, but I want to go all in when I do it. I don't like to piece things together. So some people can live with having a fourth of what they need, knowing that they've got to go get another thing and another thing and another thing. I'm not like that. I like to say, all right, I'm going to take one big kick to the boys, not 4.
We're not taking a quarter from the machine. We're taking all the quarters.
No, you got to leave a few behind. Then they really know, Tom. You got to judge it accordingly. You can't take every last quarter. You got to balance.
What do you want? It was a slow day.
No, you got to balance. But no, I kind of look at it as, all right, when we do this, we're going all in. We're going 10 grand. Ta-da! And it all arrives at once.
Is that right?
The speakers, the Morants, the turntable, the whole to-do.
Well, I can see why you would be waiting for your moment then.
Well, and I've come close. I had it all lined up. I knew what I needed. All right, I got my receiver there. That's the main part. There's the receiver. That's the Morants I want is a big chunk of change.
I wanted Morants on this football team. Yeah. Hopefully that's Deuce Robinson.
Now, I would pay for the Morants of a receiver you're talking about if we know that's a commodity that's going to shine, right? I'm really kind of curious, by the way, it's funny you bring him up. Deuce is going to be an interesting story.
Yeah, hasn't been a bad word.
I wouldn't think so. I imagine he's going to work really hard and all the things.
He knows the moment that he's in his career. He knows how important this moment is. And that's not just because we got Dominic on staff, like legit outside sources, people around the program. They're like, oh, he gets it. He understands.
It's interesting because at best, they're going to have 2 or 3 guys at wide receiver at best that shine in this offense. This is not like spread it out 5 guys, chuck it around the lot at all. So you're going to fight like hell to get on the field, and you're going to have to be a hell of a blocker, which is valued an awful lot in the NFL. So now you've got a guy in Deuce Robinson who's a monster. He's a 225-plus pound kid, and I got to imagine that he likes to block and that he's rugged, but he's also got that obviously very, very wide catch radius, as the guys like to say. He's a big, strong kid. Be what we had hoped Hakeem Williams would be. Judging
by talking to his dad, and he did put this on the record in one of our breakdowns, Deuce is going to be more than willing to do that part of the game, to execute that. It's not something where his dad's like, well, he needs to get better at it. No, to the point where if you want to go fast, this is where it bleeds into the game itself. If you want to go fast, what's the easiest thing you can do to speed up besides winning first down?
I was just about to say win first down.
What's the easiest thing you can do to keep it going fast? Not substitute.
Right.
No substituting, because if we substitute,
then you get a chance to substitute and you're going to take your time.
And the defensive coaches have made an art form of this, taking forever to substitute defensive.
Sure. As they should.
So if you're in 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, but you've got Deuce, technically you're in 11 and a half, could be 12 personnel.
Well,
because
right.
you
The
can get
kind of
him near the
multiple.
line.
Yeah.
That's where a player like that is extremely valuable in the system that's run heavy, because he will be willing to block. By all accounts, he will be in that Johnny Wilson mold of taking pride in wanting to block. That means you got to substitute less. It gives you better chances to be fast.
Yes, there are opportunities for 2 or 3 guys, like I say, to be the ones that are going to catch the lion's share of the passes. All of them are going to have to be willing to block. And I think you will see a sort of a locked-in singular focus on the weapons that Gus wants to use. He's always done this, whether it be a tight end that he loves, a running back that he loves, Obviously, he's going to run the hell out of his quarterback. Now you throw in 2 or 3 guys at receiver where, one might have 55 catches, one might have 35 catches, but that's what you're looking at. That's what they do.
That's one thing I wanted to ask him on Monday, but he didn't give a damn about being there. So
and he certainly wasn't going to tell you.
No. So I wanted to ask him about the importance of the tight end position in his offense, because there's a couple types, and he doesn't call them tight ends. I think he calls them 1s and 2s. Like, he actually uses numbers for these players. But that's one position that I'm interested to see, I guess, in the fall, how he's going to use them. Well, no, I mean, at the games, he's got to use them.
Well, in the games, yes.
But, I mean, you've got Pittman, and you've got Landon Thomas, and you've got freshman Chase Lofton. You can even say, okay, so Chase is a freshman. Gus ain't going to trust me, ain't going to play. Randy, he's going to trust, for sure, because he just
trusted the hell out of him just last year.
And he brought him with him. Like, he didn't tell Randy, we might use you.
Yeah, right, right.
No, the kid came with him. They going to use Biscuit? I mean, are they going to use him?
Well, he was brought in
to block as a tight end?
Probably.
Right? I mean, and he talked about how he's down to 265. But if Gus likes certain guys, you've got 3 or 4 different options. God forbid Amari Williams comes back and plays tight end for you. You're going to want to use that body type as well. How are you going to sort through using that many dudes? Because they all have different skill sets. And will Gus play a variety of formations at the tight end position? Again, something I would have asked him on Monday, but
nah, no chance. So we got this email during the break, and we really appreciate you, Wakulla, because this made me laugh. But it also is crazy how well we pinpointed this. Good afternoon. You have no idea how close you are to the truth. Former Wakulla High head football coach John David Jones, not Coach Johnny Ray Jones, but Coach John David Jones, who is in the High School Coaches Hall of Fame in Florida and coached for about 27 years. Did we say 27 years?
Well, it's been 27 years since
he coached,
since
right?
He's coached,
yeah. We lost the state championship my senior year, 1978 football season. We lost 2 starting linebackers and a starting defensive end due to knee injuries. How about that for a coincidence? Thanks for listening, Wakulla, and that is funny, and thanks for emailing that. Yeah, if you missed our new character.
The thing is, I don't know that Johnny Ray Jones would be in the Florida Coaches Hall of Fame.
No,
he was very much
not
on that level.
No, he was a good coach. But
he was fine.
He cared.
Fine. Had a couple of demons.
Oh, sure. Yeah, he had a couple of demons. Alcohol. And he didn't always...
When you're in the scrum with Coach Johnny Ray Jones,
yeah.
You know he's there because you hear him.
Yeah. There's that. Maybe didn't always pay his bills. I mean, good enough guy. I mean, just a little rough around the edges. Twice divorced.
Yeah. Got suspended for saying some things when he was a teacher, substitute teacher.
But he did have that truck, and I love that truck.
Man.
That thing was, you know what? He kept it up and running. He'll talk to you about that at the diner, too. What he's put into that truck.
You don't get this with a Mazda truck, do you?
Oh, this has been a fun character, man. I wish we could do the sketch SNL version of this. We would be there all day. The jokes write themselves.
That might be what we need. Coach Johnny Ray Jones, top 3 questions he wants to ask, Mike Norvell or Tony White.
The top 3? By the way, that character we developed is very different than the one that sat in the stands all those years ago. Jimbo.
Oh, very different.
Very different. Yeah, no. Johnny Ray's got a little bit of on-field experience.
Yeah, that guy never played.
Never. But was not inaccurate about his long-term prognosis.
Sure. Well, he's the guy that is always going to be right eventually. Always.
Oh,
Short
right.
of it being
like,
Nick Saban.
Like a broken clock, yes.
Right. He's always going to hate, and there's going to be a time where he is right. But most of the time, it's not the moment that he's pissed.
The always going to hate part is the key to that person that we developed in the stands going Jimbo. Because you could win the national championship with an undefeated season. And then the next year, after the first loss, he comes from hibernation. See?
I told you he was.
What?
We had a couple of those.
Yes.
With the O-line. I'm like, hey, I
Lord.
hear you on the O-line part, but we just won 29 straight and the O-line didn't suck,
That, every time this comes up, it came up the other day again. Every effing time I think back to, it was not unreasonable to think that offensive line would have been better.
Yeah. That's correct.
So Ferguson, maybe not Ferguson, but
Leonard
from Florida was better than what you had. He was, period.
Yeah.
And Lord knows what's his name was in year 20, and he had just been
2 of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Darius was as well, but Maurice was in year 20.
Yeah. Maurice was in year 20. Darius was here for his 6th year and had been in all ACC. Yes.
Yeah.
There was no. Now listen, we didn't need to think maybe that they were going to be elite. That was the stretch. But goodness gracious, we didn't think they were going to be just a bunch of stiffs who weren't worthy of playing college football, which is what last year's group looked like. Just standing there for like large swaths of the time.
They're pulling the Vincent Vega.
That killed me, by the way, when you guys did the all 22, when you were breaking down with that. Like, I don't know why. What is he doing?
That was Dublin. That was Maurice. He's like, he just lets him through. And we got a problem. He just lets him through because D-Rob is very clinical.
Well, but he just lets him through is all you need to say. He just lets him through. I don't even know how that happens. He just lets him through.
He tries not to pick on people, but he just lets him through.
He just lets him through. That should have been the phrase that we used all year long. There they are, just letting them through.
Y'all gonna block?
Bonus hour is forthcoming. Stay with.